Everybody. Let's get on a roll here. Yesterday, again, another one of those core values missed. Hayward. I mean, first of all, he had the volume yesterday. He had the volume. Unfortunately, he was 1 for 11 at halftime, and then afterwards in the third quarter, what we needed, he just didn't do. Ended up being fourth place here, but Hayward was the big issue for us here. Everyone else did just fine, but 11 points won't do it from a guy that's $33. So that hurt. Everyone else in the lineup was really nice. The Paul George, the CJ McCollum was nice. Lonnie Walker did his job at $11. Bismack did his job at $11. So we're getting there, but again, with these blowouts that are happening and these weird scores early in the season, if one of your core main players is in that game, you're done. You're done. So we can't predict those. So we kind of just gotta keep it moving. But remember, he still would have made value if he had shot normal. So he had an off night. Today we get to play the main slate for a gamer. That's really exciting, the main slate. So let's hop right up on in here and see what we got. There's going to be a lot of values today, guys, that I'm pretty excited about, and some values you want to shy away from. First value of the day, I don't care if he's playing 18 minutes. I don't care if he's playing 15 minutes. I don't care if he's playing 20 minutes, 25 minutes. He could play whatever he wants. The man's a monster. Revenge game against Sacramento. He's back. They were angry that they couldn't play. And how amazing is it to play against his former team that kind of, they left each other a little sour. I expect something kind of like this from Cousins. I mean, that's a good line to kind of look at. I mean, I think he's going to play somewhere around 18 to 22 minutes, and I think he's going to crush his value. There's no one on the Kings bench that can guard Boogie. So number one value, DeMarcus Cousins coming off the bench. Love it. High scoring affair. And I think he does a lot more than we think he's going to do today. So love DeMarcus Cousins at $10. You won't see him at $10. Probably again, depending on what happens today. So make sure you don't miss that man. You do not want to miss this guy at all. Now, I've heard some things about Bullock. I'm not playing him. I would recommend not playing him. He played 40 minutes and got you 28 fantasy points. I don't see exactly 40 minutes, and even if he does, I don't care. I don't like the matchup. I don't like the defenders that'll be on him, and he's got to score a lot in order to make his value. I do not like that call at all. Honestly, there's not a lot of cheap guys like DeMarcus Cousins in this field that I would say is a value, because like I said, a value for me is going to be like under $15, right? Something that's really cheap that should get us a huge bang for a buck. Well, honestly, DeMarcus Cousins is the only guy. Aaron Baines is interesting because there's going to be Mitchell Robinson, but I could never trust him. And there's Boucher there too. Boucher could be interesting because Mitchell Robinson is there and he had that huge line, came back to reality. I could see folks going to Boucher too. Isaiah Roby had a good game. I think I can't go back to him there either. Let's see if Al Horford has something going on. He should be playing. They just have him Roby listed as starting and Al Horford not. But I'm not seeing anything on Horford. Let's just make sure though, because he would be an interesting value play again. He played really well. I still don't like him against Steven Adams though. So no, it was just rest. It just doesn't update. So yeah, I mean, below this, I don't want anything. I don't want anything. There's a lot of mid-range players. So some of these mid-range players today, because the value like 15 and below is not that great. People are thinking about George Hill again. I mean, he's being uber efficient, a little over a fantasy point per minute. I don't think that'll continue to happen. But I mean, you can go there if you want for the $15. I personally probably won't be going there. But let's move up into some of these plays that I like. For example, love the $19 play here for Bridges. I think that he is a fine play at $19. The thing is on this slate, guys, is you want minutes. You want minutes, minutes, minutes. So he's been playing a good amount of minutes. There's been some blowouts. I like Bridges quite a bit here at the $19 range. Bojan's another really solid option here at $17. Again, he's going to be in that 33 to 34 minutes every single game. Give you some defensive stats. I think that this Phoenix Utah game will be a lot closer. It's not going to be the greatest fantasy game, but I think these two guys at 19 and 17 get you close to 30 fantasy points, which is what you want today. You want these kind of guys. They don't have to get you that 1.5, but you want them to get to 30 at least. And I think those two guys could get it done. And then the one other guy that I think is a lock so far right now as today is going to be Peyton. Now, I would say Peyton's going to be closer into a core play than he is a value because he's $19, but Smith is out, and so is Ntilikina. So I think that Peyton is going to have himself a day. So let's move on to our core plays. Again, like I said, on this slate, from how I'm looking at it, DeMarcus Cousins is your core value play. In terms of any other value plays or cheap options, be careful until you get to that mid-range. So my personal way I'm going to go about this slate is I'm locking in Cousins as the only guy that's going to be less than $15 on my roster. Okay, that's how I'm going to play this one. I don't like going down and getting a Bullock and a Cousins, or Cousins, Hill, and Bullock. I think you're reaching too far at that point. Okay, so I'm going to go to my first value play, my first core play today. I'm going to give you guys hopefully 4 today. Mitchell Robinson at $18. I think a lot of folks are going to go elsewhere at center. I like the minutes. I think he should be upward of 30 to 35 minutes, pending any foul trouble, because Toronto is big and they're going to need those boards to stay in it. And Julius Randle's going to be active offensively, so it's nice to have that defensive presence. It's really worried about boards. I like the idea that he can get you some blocks. I like pairing Mitchell Robinson and DeMarcus Cousins in the center utility spot today. People are also going to go Steven Adams at the revenge game for $1 more than Mitchell Robinson. You can absolutely do that as well. I don't think that it's a bad play. I just have a little bit of worry about blowout factor here. Okay. I might be wrong, but OKC's terrible. So I'm worried a little bit about blowout, and Toronto is getting crushed by these big men. This is a line right here. Look what Steven Adams put up against Toronto, by the way. And that's what Mitchell Robinson can do. So that's why I love Mitchell Robinson today versus Toronto. Okay. Let's go ahead and again, like I said, Boucher, just make sure you keep an eye on him. He was a slam dunk find on a slate a while back, so he's definitely kind of in our side peripherals. Don't let him sneak away. Some folks might try to go there and get you with him, and he could get there if he has a good game. It's your call there. And then when we go to point guard today, for me, there's a lot of really great plays. Love Fox there against Houston. Kyle Lowry is there. I'm okay on CP3. I do not want him. Lonzo Ball, there's too many options. I just can't have him. I'm not going to pay up for 38 for Shai in a game that I think is a little lopsided. I like Peyton here. Both the point guards are out. He should get 30 to 35 minutes. I don't think less. 30 to 35 minutes. If he puts up a point per minute, we're good to go. Okay? If he plays 35 minutes and gets 35 fantasy points, he's done his job, and let's move on. I think he could do that. Next, at shooting guard, it's really not that hard going to James Harden. Now, if you look at this list here, okay, for folks that are going to have a chance to get you 50 fantasy points, that's what we need, okay? That's what we're going to need today from a scorer. It probably starts with Fred and up. Okay, so if that's the case, you could go down Donovan Mitchell. Okay, you can go Donovan Mitchell. He could pop off and get you there because he's their number one scorer. Devin Booker, I'm off with him. I've been telling people this. He's shooting fantastic. Okay, he had that blowout game, but he's shooting fantastic. But look at the assists. Okay, look at the boards. He's not in his Bradley Beal form of last year. Chris Paul is going to be facilitated to him. He's going to be a knockdown three-point shooter. He's going to be a all-out scoring machine, but he doesn't contribute everywhere else where $40 is way too much for him. James Harden's the man. I don't care if Wall's back. I don't care if Cousins is back. This man has been doing what he's been doing, and he's locked in for 50 fantasy points tonight. I want a guy that's locked into 50. Sure, we want 70 from him. He's $54. I want a guy that's locked into 50 fantasy points. This is a close game. I don't think there's anyone else on the slate that's just locked in for 50 fantasy points every night like James Harden is. And so $54, I'll go to him because I don't think anyone's locked in. I think the only other play that you could pivot off Harden is Donovan Mitchell, and yeah, you be my guest. Go for it. And then at the other guard spot, I want one of the guards in Toronto, and I'm going to go Freddie 5 feet, Fred VanVleet. Love that he's $1 cheaper than Lowry today. And I think that, look at some of these lines this guy can put up. He put 30 fantasy points up with this terrible line. You're going to see more lines like this from Fred VanVleet than anything else. He's against New York Knicks. If this game stays close, Fred VanVleet's going to smash this, man. I think that he could get you up or 45-ish fantasy points, 40 to 45. That's what we want from him. And in this other guard spot, I don't, Mike Conley's been playing well. I don't like that game in fantasy overall, especially for your point guard, $23. There's nothing. Fred VanVleet's in this weird range where I just love exactly where he's at. Okay. Now I totally agree that you could put in Fox here too. Okay. Fox could be a core play for folks too if you want to do that. There are a lot of ways that you can fit the money and make it happen. It's just about those mid-range price players between 15 and 20, which ones you're comfortable with and which ones you aren't. So today that's going to be my core. These are going to be my core plays. And like I said, too, Cousins is going to be my only value play, which I'll always define $15 or less. Okay, so that's where it's going to be for me. I'm locking in Peyton, Harden, VanVleet, and Mitchell Robinson. We'll have Cousins there. If anything progresses and there's more value, again, if you can upgrade Vleet to Fox, it's just better because I think that Houston-Zach game is the best fantasy matchup, but make sure you don't dive too low in these positions. Okay. Make sure you're not diving too low down here, because that could end up really hurting you. All right. But there are a lot of ways, a lot of things that you can do, and make a really great lineup today. Also, if folks don't like VanVleet, you could also, and I hope people are going Julius Randle today because he is popping off. He's doing a lot, but it's pretty disrespectful that Siakam is $3 less. And in a close game, if they both are playing, I want Siakam. So I could see a lineup starting like this too. So I love the Toronto New York game. This is a great start if you can fill the rest out as well. So let's wait and see if there's any new news out, but I think the injuries are pretty cut and clear today. We kind of already know what's going on, so you can kind of build out your lineups now, and nothing too drastic is going to change. But again, just look at those. If you're looking at Siakam and Randall, let's just do this for a second, because I've been having some discussions earlier today with some folks about Randall and Siakam. I mean, Randall's getting those minutes. I totally get it. But I mean, there are some bodies down there that Toronto can get on Randall. And I mean, look at this. 2 50-point games, 2 30-point games. He's played against some solid defenses. He went off against Milwaukee. We see that. Okay. Cleveland's trash. All right. So I think that you're going to see him come back down to the world in this 30 range. And when that happens, I love Siakam. So we're really just betting right now what Randall we're going to see. I'll always bet in we're seeing the worst Randall. And you're going to get a $3 deduction. You could also play both these guys today if you really want and play a lesser guard. So there's a lot of things that you can do in this slate. Like I said, mainly just try not to plug and play these guys who are 15 and less today. I really only think Cousins is the viable play down there. Anyone else, you're kind of just guessing and crossing your fingers. All right, guys. So that's today's video. I hope you guys great luck today, and let's go get ourselves some money, guys. I'll see you in the new year.